Click the slide. There you go.
Maybe. Well, hey guys, hello and welcome to our 2025 Bryan County Chamber of Commerce annual report. My name is Matt Hodges and I am the current chairman of the board of directors for the Bryan County Chamber. And I'm joined here with Michelle Knight, who is our new CEO as of March the 9th. And so we're very excited to have her and introduce her a little bit later in the call. And so we'll go ahead and go through today's agenda. We're going to start by going through the chamber team for 2025, talk a little bit about the mission statement and what our chamber completed in our program work in 2025, and then talk a little bit about what's coming up in 2026, and then finish with a few closing remarks. And so let's go ahead and move forward. Our team last year comprised of Summer Beal as our president and CEO, Turasant as our operations manager, and Emerald Ellison as our membership manager. Our mission statement: the Bryan County Chamber of Commerce is the community leader recognized for promoting business, economic and community development, as well as public policy that balances economic prosperity with quality of life. The Chamber serves its membership through advocacy, access to community leaders, connectivity, engagement, and education. You'll find here that we've got strategic pillars that are centered around the Chamber's mission, which is to connect, advocate, and grow. And those pillars are chamber development, membership development, advocacy, workforce talent, and community leadership. And we'll dive a little bit more into how our program of work supports each of those strategic pillars. Some of our achievements from last year. So we made a very concerted effort to expand into North Bryan County. That was on the heels of our rebranding from 2024 going into 2025 from the Richmond Hill Bryan County Chamber of Commerce to the Bryan County Chamber of Commerce. And so we're excited about our North Bryan members who have already joined and are active in participating in our events and continuing to bring commerce to the north end and the south end. We've hosted key legislative and advocacy events, engaged with over 2,800 program attendees, advanced economic and community progress across our area, developed a very strategic 2026 program of work. You'll see how we kept some of our newer initiatives from 2025 and continue those in 2026 while rethinking how some of those might need to adjust and change. So we'll discuss a little bit of that. And then we launched our inaugural Bryan Ball. So to give you some membership highlights, we currently have 521 active members, and that would have been at the end of 2025, with a retention rate of 91%. And new members of 80. And so you'll see a note here as well. We're very proud of our retention rate. If you look, the average chamber retention rate is between 78 and 86%. And so that's somewhat of a wide range in of itself to have an 8% range for an average. And we're very helpfully exceeding that. And look, I attribute that to the work that the three ladies that I just mentioned, Summer, Emerald, and Tura, put in 2025. A lot of the new programs that we implemented in 2025 that could not have been executed without those three ladies, and a lot of our value add programs that we worked really hard in focusing around giving members as many resources as they needed to become as successful as they could within Bryan County. So we'll talk a little bit more about those. Some of our financial highlights: we had a total income and gross profit. So you'll see that we finished at 94.83% of our budget from an income perspective. With some of the challenges that we were met with last year regarding economic conditions, we're very pleased with where that number ended. But within the next couple of months, we will have our full 990 available, and you'll be able to see that on our website to give you more detail into that. And so let's give a quick shout out to our 2025 Executive Board of Directors. Last year, Danielle Hopper was our chairman and did a phenomenal job leading the board and leading the chamber and a lot of new initiatives that we implemented last year. And so I just want to take this time to thank Danielle for everything that she did in 2025. She was also fortunate to have had a great past chair in Frank Henderson. It's difficult to find a way to thank Frank for everything that he's done for the chamber, not only as chair and past chair, but in years prior. And of course, I served as our chair-elect, this year's current chair, Ashley McGlowan as our treasurer, Aaron Fountain secretary, and Preston Laird as an executive at large, and Buck Holly as executive at large. And then you'll find the rest of our board members here with Alan, Ashley, Brandon, Brooke, Chris Barr, Jackie Deloach, William Gaines, and Mary Arocha. And then we've got our ambassador council. And so I will tell you that it would be very difficult for the chamber to execute many of the events that we execute and to grow the membership that we grow without our ambassador council. This is a group of people that volunteer their time to not only show up at events, but also advocate for the things that the chamber is currently doing. And they do a phenomenal job of it. We couldn't, we honestly just couldn't do it without this team. And this team is led by chair and co-chair, or chair and vice chair, I should say, Casey Vance and Shelley Butler. These two ladies do a phenomenal job in leading this group. And you'll see here, we've got 8 phenomenal ambassadors on this list. And then as we go on to the next slide, then here's another 10. And so many of these ambassadors have served for many terms consecutively. And you'll see that there's a number of these ambassadors that are continuing to serve. So you'll recognize their faces on the 2026 council that will show toward the end of the presentation. But again, I cannot emphasize enough how much this ambassador council means to this chamber. It's something that I was a part of for a couple of years before joining the board. So this group means, it truly does mean a lot. And I'll tell you, one person that means a lot to our entire chamber is Darcel Miller. I will tell you that she gives a lot of her time and a lot of her resources to the chamber. She's at everything, and she's not just there to be there. She's there to do her part, and a very deserving award for Darcel. And I've known Darcel for quite a many years, and I will tell you that there's not a more wholesome person and just a more positive person to be around. And she's done a phenomenal job, not only through 2025, but the years leading up to it. So Darcel, thank you for everything that you did in 2025. And there's some big shoes to fill to whoever wins this award this year. So talk about some of our networking events that we had last year as a chamber. A lot of these are traditional events that we've had year after year after year that are parts of the foundation that this chamber has been built on, and then some of them are somewhat new. Some of the ones that everyone is familiar with are our business after hours, ribbon cuttings and grand openings, groundbreaking celebrations. These are all things that we've consistently done through the years that are kind of the foundation of our networking program with the Bryan County Chamber. And some of our newer initiatives that we implemented last year are the Business Networking Breakfast and the Women of the Chamber program. Those are brand new to 2025 and will continue in 26. And then the Part 3 Business Connection is something that's newer, just started over the past couple of years, but it's a partnership with 2 other chambers, the Savannah and the Pooler chambers. But let's dive a little bit more into these. And so our business after hours, as you know, are large events. You could have anywhere from 80 to 120 plus people attend these. And they're a phenomenal way for us to spotlight some of our local businesses that host these every month. Tell us about some of the new things that are going on with their companies. This is one that continues to grow in popularity every year. At the beginning of the year, we have a wait list of more than 12 people that are hoping to host these business after hours events. And so if you've never been to one, please do come. We have them every month except for July and December. But this year we will be having a December one. It'll be a little bit earlier in the month. But they're a great time to network, meet some people, and just come intentional, come wanting to make some connections, And they're one of the better events that we have around networking just with a large group of people. And now we've got our ribbon cuttings. Last year we hosted a total of 19 ribbon cuttings and grand openings. It's phenomenal, and it's exciting to see Bryan County grow as fast as we are growing, and to have the opportunity to welcome 19 new businesses in our county. And I mean, you'll see just from the pictures there on the screen. I mean, there's a wide variety, everything from heavy equipment to insurance to taekwondo. As the community continues to grow, there becomes a need for more and more of these industries to come. And we're glad that we can help facilitate these grand openings for these businesses as they grow. And I'll tell you, this is one of the more heartwarming things I feel like we do as a chamber, because it's a very nerve-wracking thing to open up a new business and to have the faith that whether your brand new business or whether it be an expansion that you're working on is going to succeed, but then being able to see the amount of support that the chamber with its board members and its ambassadors bring to make sure that if there's a resource or if there is anything that we can do to help and assist in the growth and success of your business, that we're here. And so we're not only honored to have this as part of something that we provide, but that is something that is sought after by new members. And then if we look at our education and workforce development programs, anything from our ambassador program, a lot of people don't know this, but last year we gave 5 $1,000 scholarships to high school seniors that are involved in the CTAE or work-based learning programs at either Richmond Hill High School or Bryan County High School. Our Leadership Bryan and Young Leaders of Bryan County programs, as well as our Lunch and Learn series, are all great ways that we inform our community, our other business leaders, and provide educational opportunities to our young community here in Bryan County. So if you've never participated in a Leadership Bryan, this slide will tell you a little bit about what it is. I went through in 2023. It was a phenomenal program for me to learn more about how Bryan County works from a government perspective, the different types of industries that are here in Bryan County, to learn about the history of Bryan County. You can see, and I'm not going to read this bullet for bullet, but you can see on the right-hand side, it kind of gives you an idea of how we connect people that are going through this program with Bryan County in a number of different ways. But it is a chamber-led program, and I will tell you that you'll see each year we select roughly about 24 participants to go through. This is also one of those programs where the number of applicants exceed the number of people that we're going to be able to allow into the program each year, which is a great problem to have for us. It shows us that people are seeing value in going through Leadership Bryan and the connections that they've made and the things that they learn. And so we look forward to the program continuing to grow. And again, if you've been through it, then you know the value. If you haven't, we encourage you to apply. So this was our last year's roster for our 2025 Leadership Bryan class. And again, a lot of you would probably recognize many of the names on here. It's a very strong list of names. We've got strong participants in this every year. I mean, just looking through the list, I see a lot of community leaders. I see board members. I see ambassadors. I see people that have been a member of the chamber for quite a many years and maybe found this as an opportunity to engage at a level that they haven't in the past. But I also see some new chamber members on this list that wanted to jump right in and get involved from the very beginning. So again, thank you for all of these participants that went through in 2025 Leadership Bryan. We do have our 2026 class going on right now. Again, another strong group of individuals. But this is always a program that I enjoy seeing come to fruition and attending the graduation and hearing about all the things that these people have learned going through it. And then just some highlights. You can see, pictures from the history day, from the military day, going downtown, doing that was when they had a scavenger hunt where they did a lot of team building on their first month to get to know the rest of their group. But you can see, I mean, just from these programs, it's 6 months of camaraderie, of learning. And again, it's something that I highly encourage anyone who's wanting to get more involved in the community and learn more about the community to be a part of. And these are the 5 scholarship winners that we presented to last year. And you can see that they've gone on to already be a part of some great organizations through their higher learning. I mean, Georgia College of State, Georgia Southern, ABAC, Howard University, and another Georgia Southern. And this year we did have a mix from applicants from Bryan County High and Richmond Hill High School. And as we go to the next slide, you'll be able to see there's the presentation at each. And so we had 2 scholarship winners from Bryan County High School, and then another 5 from Richmond Hill High School. We're actually going through these interviews for the 2026 recipients coming up later in April, and so I'm excited to sit on that panel and be able to speak with those students. And I will tell you that it was a very hard decision last year. I mean, these seniors are presenting themselves much better than I would have as a senior in high school. And so again, just hats off to our school system and the partnership that we have with them. They are continuing to do a phenomenal job getting our future leaders ready to go into the workforce and providing them the tools that they need to be successful. We're proud to be able to provide these scholarship checks. So some of our special events that we had throughout the year, you'll see our 15th annual golf tournament. It's hard to believe we've been doing this for 15 years, but every year we make some slight tweaks. We changed the format a little bit. Participation gets larger and larger. We had a lot of exciting things that we did this year in our golf tournament. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Our 5th annual clay shoot. This was something that was started about the time that I joined the chamber and has continued to grow every single year. Bryan Ball, which was our inaugural event. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But we also had our first ever poker run, and then our State of the Community. So the golf tournament, we had a great time. And what we did, we changed the format of the golf tournament last year to where 2 foursomes could tee off from the same hole. It made for a little bit longer day, but it also made for a lot better networking. And so the overwhelming feedback that we received was, yeah, it was a long round of golf, but when you take the day off work anyways, no one's really rushing to get off the golf course. It's a beautiful day, but you're also there, connecting with another foursome that you're sharing the hole with, and so it was a great day. We also introduced our putt for prizes, which has some really nice prizes that were out there, and that was also a lot of fun to see people compete to win those. And so we look forward to our golf tournament again. And I just want to thank Great Oaks Bank for sponsoring this. They are a long-time presentation sponsor of this event, and they've been it for quite a number of years leading up to this one. So thank you for your support of not only this golf tournament, but a lot of our initiatives. Coleman & Company, I believe from the very beginning, they've been our clay shoot sponsor, if I'm not misspeaking, but this, again, it has been a great event. You'll see there are people, having a lot of fun. This is something that has been going on year after year after year and continues to grow popularity again. And every year is a little bit different based off of feedback and new ideas that we get. And so we look forward to having our clay shoot again this year, but again, another great event for our businesses to be a part of, to advocate themselves, to set up stands, tell a little bit about what they do, and just network with other members of the chamber. So this year we did have our 2025 inaugural Bryan Ball, and I'll tell you, it was a really good time. We had great music there with Easton Corbin and Will Mosley. It was a beautiful venue. We were very excited to have this event. We had it based off the feedback of a lot of people that sponsored other events and said, hey, what are you guys looking for, for this year? And I believe for that specific crowd, we were able to deliver exactly what they wanted. It was an experience that they could invite others to, that they could be in the room with people that they wanted to be in the room with, and made specific connections that they were looking to make. We have also decided to pivot a little bit in 2026 and look at Bryan Ball through a different scope. And so more to come on that. But let's show you some of the pictures that we have from Bryan Ball. And then this is a list of all the sponsors. And so Bill Lucas was our diamond sponsor, and we thank him not only for his sponsorship for the Bryan Ball, but again, somebody who attends many chamber events, specifically business after hours. So Bill, we thank you for not only your investment that you made into this event, but also in the others that you do. And then you'll see we have many other large sponsors to include Radiant, Savannah Technical College. And it's worth mentioning too that all the proceeds from this event went to our Young Leaders program. And so that's why it was so important for us to host these type events so that we can raise the funds necessary in order to do a lot of the work that we're doing in the community. Again, picture of Bill Lucas, and we can't thank him enough for everything that he does for our chamber and that he did for this event. And just some pictures of our entertainment. You can see in the top left there, that was Will Mosley. In the bottom center, Easton Corbin. And then we had, obviously the background wall. We were able to have a meet and greet with Easton Corbin afterwards. And so, again, it was a beautiful time, a lot of fun. And we want to thank everyone that attended. We know you had a blast. Now, this was a fun event. To be honest with you, it kind of came in the spur of the moment. We were looking for something fun and exciting to do just before it got too cold. And I will tell you, it was a windy and choppy day out of the first annual Ogeechee Hold'em Poker Run. But a little bit of wind and some choppy water did not stop people from coming out. So if I remember correctly, we had just over 20 boats that entered. And it was a great time. The overwhelming feedback was keep doing it. And so you'll see another poker run this year. And we want to thank Cove to Coast for being our presenting sponsor for that. If you weren't out at it, again, I'd encourage you to go. Not only did we have fun, but Cove to Coast had some beautiful boats out there on display and people there to answer questions about those. And so, but we hosted it at Fishtails. And we want to thank Fishtails for allowing us to host it there. Everybody went out, had a good time, came back. We presented some prizes, and we had good food to celebrate the end of the poker run. And so, thank you for all that had a hand in making that happen. And then we had our State of the Community, and the purpose of these State of the Community events is to bring leaders and the citizens together to understand, engage, and shape the future of our community. And so every year, this is a sold-out event. Last year, we had over 240 attendees that came, and we want to thank Georgia Power as our presenting sponsor for it. And again, this is something that sells out. We have a list of people that are waiting for cancellations every single year to attend this. And so there's great information shared. We hear from local and some state level representatives to talk about some of the initiatives in Bryan County, not only from a growth perspective, but then what are we doing to make sure that the growth is manageable, infrastructure updates and things of that nature. So it's a good way to stay informed. And to hear directly from the source about things that are going on in our county and how we're managing some of our changes and growth. So our 2025 advocacy initiatives, you'll see the Bryan Day at the Capitol, the military connections, the legislative mix and mingle and State of the Community events. Those are all ways for us to promote Bryan County and to try to bend the ear of the people that we need to make sure that these things, that our interests are being heard. So guys, I just want to thank you all for making 2025 an incredible year. Without our members and without the people that are here to support the chamber, we couldn't make all these things happen. So again, from the board to the ambassadors to the staff, we want to thank everybody for all their efforts, and what we had was a very successful 2025, and now we look ahead to this year. And so I want to start by again welcoming our new president and CEO, Ms. Michelle Knight. So she started earlier this month, and I will tell you that she has already hit the ground running. And if you haven't yet met Michelle, look forward to y'all having the opportunity to meet her. But come out to some of our events, make sure you shake her hand and get to know her a little bit. bit, but she's going to do a phenomenal job leading our chamber into our next chapter. Excuse me. So this is our 2026 Executive Board of Directors. I've already introduced myself as the chairman this year. We've got Paige Glazier as our past chair, Buck Holly as chair-elect, Chris Barr as our treasurer, Aaron Fountain as secretary, Ashley McGlowan as executive at large, and Preston Laird again as executive at large. And then here's our the rest of our board: Alan Volske, Ashley Ron, Brooke Cowart, David Ryder, Jackie DeLoach, John Hodges, Rebecca Schmidt, Summer Beal, and Todd Mayo. In our 2026 Ambassador Council, we still have Casey and Shelley at the charge. As the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So these ladies do a phenomenal job, and they were voted on by their peers to continue to lead the Ambassador Council for 2026. And you'll see some returning members from the slide that I mentioned before on this slide. And then we'll move over to the next slide where we can see the rest of our Ambassador Council there. And again, just a phenomenal group of people that put in a lot of work and a lot of time, and they volunteer a lot of hours to advocate for our chamber and in our programs. So our 2026 program of work, I mean, man, if you don't see how busy our chamber team is by looking at this, I mean, what we do, we want to make sure that we are putting together programs throughout the year that allow people to get together, to promote their businesses, to network with people that they need to meet, and to do all we can to support business in Bryan County. And so again, we'll, as I talk through this, have an opportunity to look through the slides. You'll see that a lot of our new initiatives from last year, we're continuing on this year with the Women of the Chamber events, the business networking breakfast. You'll see lunch and learn still scattered through there about once a quarter. And so we are, excited to bring together a full comprehensive program of work for you in 2026 and continue to build on a lot of the success we saw in 25. So some are upcoming events that we've got. And so we've got a ribbon cutting at Just Imagine Play Village. We've got a business after hours that's going to be hosted by Del Webb, Savannah at Heartwood, which is right across from the Heartwood development. And so if you haven't yet been there, this is going to be a great opportunity to come in and see the wonderful job that they're doing out at that development there. I mean, it's a very nice. They've done a very thoughtful job of putting that place together. Then this year, we've got our 16th annual golf tournament. And we want to thank Southeastern Bank for being our presenting sponsor this year, and also all the things that you do for us throughout the year. And so that is going to be on April 24th. And then you'll see another ribbon cutting with Strategic Partners of Georgia. They are just down Ford Avenue across the street, almost directly from Way Station Coffee. And so join us there on April 30th for their ribbon cutting at 11 a.m. And guys, we want to thank you for joining us. I hope that through this presentation, you see how hard the chamber works at putting together a comprehensive program of work, how successful 2025 was, and a lot of the new initiatives that we plan on putting in place in 2026. We want to thank you for your time, and reach out if you need anything at all. Thank you so much.